We're undergoing a revolution of sorts that's silently passing us by. Newer aspirations are changing our ideas of the possible, and with it are changing our ideas of identity. Every step we take underscores a new shade of jingoism to our democracy and adds a new faceless India to our notion of nationalism. We chose to study the recent political trends, the Kar Vapsi movement, the vandalism of churches, to highlight this gust of fear and anxiety that this march towards the future has brought to the other side. Let's hear some thoughts we'd rather not believe.
So, why do you think Christians are prime targets of persecution in India?
I think because they stand for what is right and are not afraid to speak out against injustice, not only with regard to themselves, but also with regard to others, especially the poor and the downtrodden, because they themselves have proved that they can talk about it. Because many Christians have been working for the poor and the downtrodden, and even in our school, this school, you know, from your personal experience, how in spite of the tremendous pressure for admissions and even other monetary benefits that would have accrued through it, we have taken a big percentage of Catholics and Christians, especially the lower classes. Otherwise, we would have had a decent education, and they're given practically a free education. As we have been meeting persons, whether in schools or hospitals or other social service centers, uh, we have tried our very best to help the poor and the downtrodden. Because our aim is not to make money, but to follow the words of Jesus Christ, love one another as I have loved.
Do you believe that even though you may not have state support, that societal support is available in abundance to the Christian community?
To a great extent, yes.
Thank you so much, sister.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm Sister Nirmalini. I'm the principal of Common Government School. I've completed about 20 years of my presence here in Delhi. 7 years as vice principal and 13 years as principal. And I'm now moving out to Mumbai.
Sister, why do you think Christians are prime targets of persecution in India?
Well, first of all, I'd like to correct it's not only the Christians, but it's minorities on the whole. So we've known a number of times in our past history that every minority community at some time or the other, or for that matter, the majority community has also undergone some form of attack or persecution. But in the last couple of years, probably the ideology which is being injected into society is more anti-Muslim, anti-Christian, and therefore it's basically the right-wing fundamentalists who kind of have a major propaganda on that the Christians are like aliens or foreigners, and therefore they must be out. And my basic understanding as to why they target the Christian community, as you would know from statistics, that large number of institutions, education institutions, or reaching out to the poor in the remotest belts of India, doing social work, it's the missionaries who have been there all along, down the centuries. And when a person gets educated, the person has an intellect to question about their rights, about their dues. And therefore, there are certain sections of people who would not like that to happen. They want the people to remain suppressed and oppressed. And that's why the Christian community on the whole has served largely in the field of education and in medical services.
Do you, sister, know any victims of violence personally?
Yes, I do.
And how has their experience shaped your interaction with Hindus?
Well, I think we all the time hear that all Muslims are not terrorists. So it's not every Hindu who behaves like that. I have very good Hindu friends. I have very good relations with the people from the Hindu community. You take any holy book from any religious background. They all talk about love. They all talk about peace. They all talk about sharing in community. So you cannot put a blanket statement that everybody is like that. No, I would not, and that has not changed, even though I personally experience the situation during the violence. I have never for once felt that I hate all the Hindus. I don't. It's just a section of people who walk and live that kind of ideology. It's not everyone.
Sister, do you feel that there is a difference between the urban and rural treatment of the Christian community?
Uh, for the last many years, it did look like that, but urban Christians have their own problems. Like people may not even know it is a persecution of a different nature. It's a discrimination. It's a system discrimination. If a Christian is due for promotion, yeah, he is has to undertake a very torturous journey. I know recently of a bureaucrat who is due for promotion. The file is clear. There's everything absolutely perfect, but the promotion has just been stopped.
Because of religion.
I cannot pinpoint and say, though I'd like to believe it must be because of he being from a Christian background. There is no other evident answer or no evident lapse why he should be kept away. So whether it is a rural or a urban, there are different kinds of discriminations which are happening. In the last few months, there were 52 families somewhere in the village of Chhattisgarh who were denied their daily ration, all because they belong to a Christian community. I mean, whoever hears of this, poor are poor people across the board, whichever religion they may belong to.
Sister, what is your opinion on the Ghar Vapasi movement and the Shuddhikaran movement that has been initiated by groups like the VHP, the Hindu Dharma Sena, and the RSS in response to Christian converts in tribal areas?
I think it's a very outrageous exercise which the VHP and RSS undertake. This whole, they are taking recourse in this whole idea of Ghar Vapsi. I mean, you talk to any country in the world, freedom of religion is absolutely an individual's choice. I like to add though that one must not use force or coercion. What they are attacking the Christian communities on force, but they're doing what they are attacking us for. They are forcing people in the name of Ghar Vapsi and luring them with saying that you will be given provided with BPL cards. Nothing of those things happen. It's a farce. They are really hypocrites who don't understand what Hinduism means. It is a way of life. They have to teach people to be better human beings, not bring them. So I'm deadly against this whole idea of Ghar Vapsi and this anti-conversion. Uh, you talk of a democratic system where everyone must have freedom to practice and believe in the religion they would like to. A Christian would like to perhaps someday, which they do, follow Islam. An Islam person may follow something else. A Hindu may want to follow some other religion. And it's purely an individual's freedom to choose which way of life he would like to move. So I don't agree with this whole idea of anti-conversion and reconversion.
Sister, what do you think you as a community can do to secure your rights in the state of India?
One thing is that everyone knows that Constitution guarantees the minorities of rights. Recently, you heard the Prime Minister's interview where he says the Constitution is a holy book. But I actually wish and pray that it remains a holy book where they respect the freedom of every religious community. So, as a Christian community, we will continue to raise our voice against any injustice done to any minority.
Do you think that the state is effectively responding to the atrocities that have been that have been inflicted upon minorities in India, especially the Christian community?
I think the Chief Minister, the current Chief Minister, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, has been positive, and his party has spoken, very very strongly and came out in support whenever the churches were attacked, the school in Delhi was attacked. So they have very strongly stood by us. So that's a good thing that they are there for everyone.
So, do you think with the rise of the BJP government that your rights as a Christian community in India will be more circumscribed than they were before?
See, insofar as the rights are concerned, I would say that they are guaranteed by the Constitution. That is something which they cannot change. It's the Constitution. But what worries us is the system discrimination, which is on the increase. And that is going to be a struggle, that's going to be a fight. Whether we need permissions, visas are denied sometimes, and no valid reasons are given to us. They just deny the visas for missionaries. So this kind of discrimination is definitely on the increase.